Welcome to Saturday morning quick preview of Belmont Sprint Day, arguably the strongest Group 3 I've seen in a long time. It's been well voiced on the radio station throughout the week that this could be and should probably be a Group 2 field.
It's got a pretty long tail though, you would say, but the top end, it does look an exciting race for
Yeah,
sure. Don't know about upgrading the status just yet because it's not sort of like, well, it is a pretty good race every year, but maybe give it a bit more money. Maybe make it worth a bit more than the Hyperion and the
mm,
Strickland.
yeah. But I'm looking forward to that race. Comes up in race 7. We have a 9 race program on a 16-degree day at Belmont. The hoodies are
It's going to
on.
be wonderful. It's going to be
It's
wonderful.
fantastic. All mates
It
bar is
is
going to be packed.
absolutely fantastic soup weather. Prayers that we don't get the one bad soup that's in Perth Racing's rotation. Um, Otherwise, that'll ruin my enthusiasm for the day.
Um, all right, Toby, 5 meter rail, hardly any wind around.
Yeah,
How
very
do you
little
see
wind.
today playing?
Um, Probably pretty similar to last week, I would say at this stage, unless it looks like there's some chance of rain throughout the day. Not a great deal, but look, I think that at the moment they're calling it a 4. I reckon it'd be playing closer to a 5, not a 5, but closer to it. Any rain throughout the day will probably get us back to that 5 range. Just think that'll help those horses that like the bit of sting out. Apart from that, I think it'll play somewhat similar to last week, where the rail and on speed was a pretty decent place to be.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. I think last week was definitely probably more advantage to be forward to midfield. Um, Obviously there was a couple that jumped out of the box, like that 2-year-old Grant and Alana Williams was uber impressive over the 1,000,
Yeah, I
wasn't
think
it?
that might have just been Braden getting leading wrong on
Yeah,
Capitola.
yeah, fair call. Nonetheless, I think that could be a smart
Yeah, it
3-year-old.
was still a nice win to cop
Yeah,
the bit of interference and then still peel around Brave Wasp, who had a full head of steam.
yeah, awesome. Race number 1's a 58 plus over the 5 furlongs. We have My Hidden Universe 245, Masamune 340, Wicked Venom 390, Expo Rose after 3 wins in a row at the country tracks, 850, and then double figures the rest. Where'd you start? Yeah,
Started with the obvious, and that is the exciting My Hidden Universe. Was probably hoping he would resume at 1200 this prep because he looks like he'll sort of get to 14, maybe even a mile. But he did win first up no trial last prep at 1100 when he carved across from an outside gate and won by 5.5.
mm.
Was on a very rail dominated program at Bunbury, which plenty of them are. But
Who would have thought?
the manner of his victory and the time was absolutely outstanding. His recent trial was outstanding. I think there'll be a bit of resistance for him to get to the breeze. I think Expo Rose leads. I think some sort isn't jumping that good, so probably gets crossed immediately by Oregon Hiker. And then it's just a matter of if Oregon Hiker wants to give away OSL to My Hidden Universe. But I think Brandon will be pressing pretty hard for it. And don't think she'll be too desperate to hold that spot. So I think he gets at least to OSL, puts him in front of his 2 main dangers in Masamune and Wicked Venom. Um, don't think you're getting any fancy price to find out. Don't know what the market will do with him. He was very easy in betting his last start before a spell, but the 2 before that, he was absolutely annihilated in betting. So if there's a little bit of a drift, that'll get me, I would say. Otherwise, um, probably just be sitting out. There's no real value in the um, any of the other horses under double figures for me. The only one I'm maybe interested in is at a price is Cobb and Co. Not exactly sure how he wins from 7, but his trial was incredibly good behind Bustler
Good
for
trial.
for coming into a West Speed Platinum handicap.
Yeah, I think you've summed up that pretty well. And look, My Hidden Universe is going to be one of those horses, I think, throughout the Belmont season that's going to appreciate the sting out. He's obviously a
Mm.
universal ruler, which, I think this time of the year. brings the universal rulers to the forefront of many races. So I think it's clear on top. I think it's interesting, like you said, that he's starting at the 5 furlongs this prep, first time at the 5 furlongs as well. But I think that last prep, he turned a corner and he's starting to put it all together. Race number two, 66 plus over 2200. Fat Roy Slim 275, Zaza Rock 310, Baihara 370, double figures, the rest of them.
Take it away, Kev.
I think, and this is unbelievable, it's something I may have, I don't know what's happening. It might have been a full moon, blue moon, whatever, but I'm getting involved and I'm on Baihara again. I think Baihara, or not again, but I'm back, I'm getting on the train. Let's just say that. I think there's no reason why Luck Duramoli can't try and replicate what happened last start, albeit led, walked them, had everything to suit. And I just think if, Baihara can find the top or find the breeze at least, he can just make this a walk and basically just kick into the top of the straight and give him something to chase. That being said, that start of that race last week was just incredibly slow, which is no
Mm.
shock for WA Staters, just
No,
during the
not at
Belmont
all.
season.
Not at all.
Obviously, no massive confidence, but Fat Roy Slim carrying 62
And probably would
is,
have preferred some more of that rain that was
yeah,
potentially forecast.
yeah. Anything from you here?
No, not really. Zaza
Awesome.
Rock, Fat Roy Slim fought a race out the other day, a couple of weeks ago. Don't think there's a lot between them. Bayhara, the new blood on the scene, just if she gets the same setup, she becomes hard to beat. But sort of, there's a couple that might want to hold her out, maybe, and that just makes it that little bit harder. And then sort of, there's not a lot else.
No,
There are
there
plenty of
is.
horses that should be a lot longer.
Race number three, the 58 plus over a mile. We have late arrival 320, Forever Boy 360, Snippy Sean 420, double figures the rest. Good. We had a little bit of a discussion here before we started the recording, so I'll let you take us away.
I'd say Alex Hearn will be leading.
Yep.
I think that's a fair assumption to make. Not sure who goes and sits outside him. Maybe Forever Boy, maybe an I'm Crafty or a Le Messenger, or I really didn't know. If Alex Hearn wants to run them along a bit, which I think will play into later rival strengths, they might just all file back and then have to make their moves at some point. Someone might just get left in the breeze, like a Dennis Shaw and I'm Crafty. So I mentioned Forever Boy last week, said I thought his trials were pretty good. He tracked into the race pretty nicely last week until he ran out of room. I think it was relatively inconclusive. I don't know exactly how much closer he would have got. He would have got closer, obviously, but
Yeah.
I don't know how close he would have actually gone to winning at 1400. But I think the fact that he travelled up so strongly was still a good sign coming into a race like this, which is a bit weaker. He gets clean. Just probably needed to draw a gate in a race where there's sort of nothing really, unless he goes to the OSL himself, nothing that's going to really take him into it to try and get closer to late arrival. If it was a bit wetter, I think that would really play into late arrival strengths, but we just haven't got that rain yet. I think I've said this before, through winter, Alex Hearn will win plenty of races on bulk tracks, riding to his strengths.
Riding to his, yeah, suits the
Mm,
way he rides, isn't it?
especially on if you put him on the right horses anyway.
Yeah.
Like a late arrival who can just keep running all day. He got out as far as 2,000 metres back when he was over east. The three wins this prep have all been really good, all for different reasons.
Mm.
And he will obviously
On
be hard to
three
beat.
different tracks as well. Heavy, soft, good. It just shows how versatile he is.
But I do think he might be a little bit better with that bit of sting out.
Yeah.
I think that'll suit him as he gets out over further. And yeah, I think he'll be a better horse in the depths of winter.
Yep. So the mile, you don't see any concern at this point.
No, I don't think there's any reason to. He sort of just keeps plugging away like that 1100 win. He won because they went real hard and he just was last man standing. And then the 1400, he sat three wide outside of Doug another hole, who's now 66 plus placed, and powered over the top of him. So
Yeah, that form has held up really well. Um, yeah, I found it tough to split these two, to be honest. I thought it was a race in two as well. I think Forever Boys run last start is definitely one of those ones where when you watch the replay, you can definitely tell that it wasn't a flashing light run, where it's like be on me next start, but it's one that you're not going to miss either.
yeah,
So I can understand the early market support for it. Being New Zealand bred won't have any dramas with the track conditions, albeit
no,
so
well,
I'm probably
Noteworthy was always a bit better in the wet.
yeah,
The half to
the half.
full to him,
Yeah,
shares
the
by
full.
Charm Spirit as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. And then obviously, yeah, like we've touched on late arrival, being able to handle all sorts of conditions. So I think at this point it'll just be a price point of view. Um, Probably take whichever one's longer. Wouldn't surprise if Forever Boys start shorter and late arrival maybe gets out. But then again, wouldn't be surprised if it goes the opposite way.
Yep.
Race number 4, 61 plus over 1400. We've got Pondmaster 210, Elite Missile 370, King Hit 8, Show the Way 10, double figures the rest.
Uh, Race has been made a lot thinner via the scratching of Rockin' the Jam. Um, do think it's probably now a bit of a match race. King Hit my clear third and probably only other real winning chance, but I just don't see how he turns the tables on Pondmaster with that smaller weight swing.
Mm.
Pondmaster was enormous first up, missed away second up, and didn't really get the right run into it. And then last start really put him away nicely. I think he'll be better again at 1400. Um, Elite Missile, he's a really nice horse on his day. Don't think, just didn't quite. I'm not sure last start. They said he worked hard to the breeze, but I just didn't agree. I thought he was just plain freshened up, so every chance he goes a lot better. But few too many queries for mine to back either of those at their current prices. But I certainly don't want to be on anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. I had really no opinion in this race. Uh, Race number 5 for the 2-year-olds over 1200 meters. We've got Tudor Stormy 310, Planet Sweet 390, Moonwalk 650, Banner 11, Faradio 11, and Longer the rest. Go.
too darn stormy. That is all pretty much. I've taken some liberties and made him. I knew I was always going to be shorter than the open market. Don't know how short you get late. These 2-year-olds, if there is the right spruik on them, they can start very, very short. Look, his first trial was absolutely outstanding from the back of the field. Not a heap of pressure put on him, and he really cruised up to them nice. Just about went past them by the line, and then was real good after the line. And then last start, sat leaders back, and then went back to the inside, and Pike dropped his left, which is near side rein. But to me, it looked like that. And I think that just took away a bit from what he was trying to do, and I think he was a bit less impressive as a result. I just think he looks a really nice horse to me from the trials. It'd be interesting to see him from the yard. He's from a really nice family. They get probably a little bit better with a bit of sting out. You get Pike, Kieran Ma racing in the ownership, if you want to read into that. He's also picked it over Planet Sweet, who was a pretty good run the other day. You don't lose much in getting Lucy, but I think this could be one from a little bit outside of the box. Of the rest, None of Your Business was in a couple of slower trials, but was still decent. Comes from the SJ Miller yard. Is a full to Holy Enchantment, so probably going to be better over further. Moonwalk, I didn't really like that much. Ray Lana, I'm willing to forgive. Think she's a chance of finding the front shades on. Her shades on trial was outstanding, and then just didn't go at all without them on race day the other day. Planet Sweet, I've mentioned already, she was pretty good considering she was off a month and a half into her race off 400-meter trials. And then Ferrario was the only other one I really wanted to touch on, who trialled behind Two Darn Stormy and was pretty good, but I think he may also be better over further.
Yeah. And it's always sort of hard to get a guide on where or how the map's going to shape out. But
Oh, yeah.
from 11, what do you think William Pike does on Two Darn Stormy?
He will just come across with it. Like, he won't. He's not going to bustle it out to try and get close. 1200 as well. I don't think it matters as much about posseing up close. I think it'll just sit somewhere. I think there'll be enough speed, and I think he will get the job done as long as it's not a highway up the inside.
Yeah, perfect. I do like the Two Darn Hot Prodigy. I think they are progeny, is the right word. I do like them. They're very impressive early 2-year-olds. Race number 659 plus over 1400. We've got six shooter at 215, Manhattan Strip 480, Amjad 750, more than enough 10, and longer the rest. Take it away.
I was pretty keen to be with six shooter wherever he went next start. And he nominated for the provincial race last week, drew the outside. They scratched to come here, and they draw the outside again. He is a bare bones price now for mine, but I think he's pretty progressive. I like him out to 1400. I think he gets enough speed in this to bring him into it, and I think he is, well, as I'm the way I'm speaking, I'm sure it's coming across. I think he's your most likely winner. Manhattan Strip was, well, looked like it was going to be a really nice trial until the vision cut off. And then was a really good win, beating Camera Action, who came out and won that provincial final. 13 here hurts because he'll probably be behind six shooter, probably doesn't want any rain, and doesn't really like Belmont. So I thought there was plenty of negatives for him coming into this, considering that Northern track would have been pretty hard. So I think he just might not appreciate the conditions he will be faced with today. So if it was a good track at Northern or Ascot, I think he could really take it up to six shooter the way he looks to be going. But I think he'll struggle more than enough. Been freshened after two pretty good runs since resuming. With gets a jock upgrade and probably a better map. Be interesting if he steps a bit better. He's a serial non-stepper, so at 1400, I don't think he gets away with it as much. And Amjad, a very nice trial, and is a nice enough mare resuming.
And I think that last prep for Amjad with Summer Dixon, that was Summer Dixon's first prep with him. With her.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have been. Yep.
yeah. First prep with her was, I think it was encouraging. I think that they've learned a bit about her. I think she probably comes here, look, 1400 first up. I don't hate it. I think from where she's drawn, Stephen Parham can put her into a much better early position than
Than
those
some
that
of the
are
rivals.
probably, yeah. So I wouldn't be
Drawn underneath looks, you can just fire out and then sit somewhere close on him.
Yep, yep, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, that trial was very encouraging. I think 750 and 230 is a good each way play in race number 6. And now we go to the exciting race of the day, the Belmont Sprint over 1400 Group 3 weight for age. We have West Star, the uber impressive Northern Stakes winner, 275. Western Empire 460, Bustler 650, the Boss Lady 750, Magnificent Andy 9, and double figures the rest. And there's a lot of the rest.
There's a lot of the rest. There is actually 15 of the rest because there is only one.
There
There
is.
is only there is only Bustler.
Oh, before we start this, I totally forgot. Race number 6, first leg of the body.
Ah, um, six shooter, more than enough. Amjad.
Yep. 178.
Yep.
Perfect. All right.
As I was saying, there is
Yes.
only one. There is only Bustler. Um,
Yeah.
uh, where do I start? He is a very nice horse. On his day, he's won a railway. That proves that. He's never been the most brilliant of trialers. Thought his first trial was a very nice piece of work. Shades went on for the second, and he was electric.
Yeah.
He got asked for a little bit, gave a lot, and just in an instant. So, um, I think he posses up closer than a lot of his rivals from the eight, where a lot of the real dangers draw wider. And I think he's a big price for a proven weight for age performer, a railway winner. Look, West Star was really good the other day, but I think people want to say that he was in the worst part of the track, where I disagree, and I think he was actually in the best part. I thought it was a very on-speed day at Northern, but I actually thought the best lanes were out wider. So
Yeah.
look, you've still got to do the work to
Happens.
sit three wide, no cover. It's
Yeah.
it's never a good spot, but I certainly think that was one of the situations where it's the least bad time to be in that spot. They did run pretty good time, but it was a very fast track, so he actually didn't go. How much quicker did he go than Manhattan Strip? 50. He only went about 4.5 to 5 lengths quicker than Manhattan Strip, who wouldn't start $2.60 in this.
No.
He look, I don't think anything out of the Northern Stakes is going to turn the tables on him. So then
Yeah.
where do you go? You go
You go
to
for the different form,
Bustler,
right?
you go to
And
Western Empire, who I don't think's come back this prep. I think I spoke about I didn't like his second trial much, and then I know he wasn't suited by Crescetti stopping on him in the Quokka, but still thought he was poor.
yeah.
Um, Triple Missile, probably one of the better rougher chances if he was a big drifter. I thought he was pretty solid in the Quokka, probably better at 1400 at this point in his life. And then apart from that, you've just got Northern Stakes runners. Search and Rocks I could have entertained if it was a lot wetter, but it's
Uh,
not.
I couldn't entertain Search and Rocks anymore. Horse
Why
is
not?
gone.
Wolf,
Stable's gone.
wolf.
Yeah. Big wolf.
Oh, Bustler. Thanks for playing.
Bustler's the one. Um, yeah, look, you touch on Search and Rocks. I would have really loved this horse to stay with its original camp. Um, unfortunately, uh, certain owners that pay the bills make decisions that I think are a little bit worse off, and they're going to pay the consequences for that.
Well, I think it was always going to go back to her when she got her license back.
Yeah,
Because
they hate money, they
this,
hate winning.
okay,
I completely agree with you though. Look, it's Westar. It's pretty much the Northern Stakes versus the DF, which is Western Empire Bustler. I personally putting the line through Western Empire today. Not saying that he's completely cast, but from 14, he'll be from 13. No, he'll be from 11. I think it just maybe seems a little bit too hard. Um, and when you have a horse like Bustler who's just trialed up, like you've touched on, and everything else that you've said, you know, Group One winner, he's proven at weight for age. He's got tactical speed to be able to sit perfectly. Um, it'll just be a question of what Westcar can do, really. I think it's 3 versus 14. I don't know how any of the Northern Stakes turn the
Yeah,
tables.
yeah, I don't think they do.
No,
Even with the weight swings they get, I can't see it.
no.
Buster wins. Thanks for playing.
Quaddy,
Well, we won't go one out. We won't go one out.
314.
I'd want to throw in one more, and I'll let you pick between Western Empire and Triple Missile. I'm leaning towards Triple Missile from a value point of view. Oh, actually, no. I want to throw in Admiration Express. We completely forgot to touch on her. I thought she trialled quite good.
Hmm,
And her best is pretty good. Her best, she ran second to Light Infantry, man. Beat all of our weight for age performers.
it's true. At 1800.
That's all right.
Yeah, let's go 3, 13, 14.
Perfect. And then
Yeah,
everyone can have a smaller quaddy one out hustler.
yeah, yeah. Happy days. Um, Race number 8, 78 plus over 1200. We got Storm Chaser 440, Love and War 550, Taropa 550, Wind in the Line 7, Storyville 7. Cracking 78 plus this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like this is hot.
This is a this is like the one Media Baron won a couple of years ago. It's just a mess of quality,
Yeah,
and anything pretty much could win.
yeah.
Um, where do you start?
I don't know.
Map looks tricky-ish because there's plenty of speed-ish drawn throughout the line. Mood swings probably looks to hold the front.
In
Multinational,
in memory of Aaron, do we start with Storyville? What's Storyville gonna do?
I think we should. Storyville
Yeah,
will go back, and Storyville. I thought it was interesting. Second trial was without the earmuffs, and then they were gear changes coming off, and then there was a notification, and I just want to make sure right now that I've read it right so that I don't steer anyone wrong. And
nose roll
the nose roll was already gone down as
already
on.
on.
It is earmuffs, actual earmuffs in race. So I thought it was really interesting that she trialled without them second trial. Either way, she just goes back. There'll be a 3, even 4 wide line probably. So she blends into it at the right time, and they can make that sort of ground. She can win.
Yeah,
A lot of chatter about Storm Chaser, how good he was because he made ground the last start on a day where it was hard to make a lot of it. But I just think he got the right race shape. Both of the lead and breeze horses sort of didn't go particularly well, and then so the horses back the fence never got out, and that just allowed him to do enough to win. He sort of wasn't overly impressive, and it was a pretty bunched finish. So I wasn't a big fan of that win, but it was good to see that he was back somewhere near his best. He can probably continue to improve, but thought he was
loves Belmont.
unders. Yeah, yep. Wind in the line was good first up. Like him, drawn a bit wider, like him out to 1200. Last time he was 1000 to 12. He was disappointing first up and then won a Placid Arc. So Love and War trolled nice. Probably prefer her to have been first up at 1400. Probably prefer her to have had her one sided blinkers on that she wore in that second trial. Thought it was really interesting that they took a lot of the other gear off, fiddled with it, and then never put those back on after trialing in them. Uh, where to next? Taropa, who is really hard in the market. You probably should forgive her for one bad run, but I can't forgive her enough to get her $5 in such a quality field. Petula, not suited at all in the Joey. Run before that behind West A was really good. Loses Lucy is probably a killer blow, but can win. Ice Picnic was good in the Joey. Draws a bit of a lemon, but is a big price to find out, I think. Yeah, this is a mess. I had a lot of
Yes.
trouble with this.
Yeah. I think it's a fairly accurate pricing market with it. I don't know what the market does with Storm Chaser, but I could easily see this $5 a field.
Mm.
Like it's just one of those races. There's so much depth. You can make a case for at least half of them.
And too many
Um,
questions for me.
yeah, so many questions. I mean, you have a look at even Frigid trialed up well.
Mm.
Um, whether or not this
Maybe we'll
is,
just do a forever boy and wait for a particular variable to change.
yeah, yeah.
And I won't name names.
Um, I personally, I went Storm Chaser on top, not with any amount of great confidence. I mean, I was a fan first up, and I'm a fan of the horse himself. I think he's come back well. I think he's just the perfect Belmont horse as well. Like he's just one of those horses that loves the big tracks, loves to just swing into it. He's going to get that from barrier nine. And he was a massive, what was it? His last 400, last 600, last start. Like he just sustained that run
Yeah.
for a long, long time. And yeah, he didn't particularly put them away by any stretch of the imagination, but he was first up, and I think he's subject to improvement. Love and War was brilliant, fresh last prep, and then probably just I'd say underperformed at the next two in the Peters
Did
and
have the pads
Dumbledore.
go on him. I
Yeah,
reckon from memory they only went on for the last start, but still.
yeah. So I had issues. I'm probably going to just keep an eye out for her as it gets a little bit wetter throughout the season. Um, and I agree with you. First up, 1200 is just a little bit
Off
of
a
a
1200
question mark.
troll as well.
Yeah.
I prefer them to
Mm.
go to 14.
And then, yeah, I mean, what do you do with Taropa? She's a winner. She loves the softer part of the track as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, you can make a case for anything, and I'm sure Aaron will be on Storyville. Um, albeit he knows when to time Storyville very well, so it might
Yeah,
not be
yeah,
today.
might not be.
Quaddy. Oof.
Uh, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10.
Ooh.
What?
Do we want 11?
At $5, I think I'm happy to leave her out.
Leave it. 13?
Yeah, 13 and 15,
Yeah.
I think.
So 3, 5, 8. Did you say 9
Maybe.
and 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. 9, 10, 13, 15. Wowie.
You could throw in 3 more and still miss it.
Going into the lucky last race number 9, 66 plus over
And it doesn't
1200.
get any
It
easier because
doesn't.
this is $6 the field.
It doesn't. We have yeah, righto, 550, Dracana, $6, Woburn Gold, 7, Kalima, 750, Keep It a Mystery, 950, Dance Boss, 11, and $12, and up the rest of them. Spreegas on $17. Not in my wildest dreams would I have seen that.
Seen what? What was? I'll keep you taking 17.
Spreegas on.
Oh, Spreegas on, right.
Gone.
Yeah, and Barry 1 doesn't suit him, and he was poor first up.
Race to his trial, to be fair.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think Nobility is a pretty decent chance of getting across here. Doesn't particularly like Belmont, and certainly wouldn't want any of that rain forecast in the mid to late afternoon to come. Um, but she's probably not without a hope if she can carve across sort of Norwich style without too much effort. Don't think they'll push out Kelvinator too hard, but I think he'll eventually find OSL. And I think Resonator probably takes a trail. Um, I think that the 4 favourites are your probably 4 real chances in Woburn Gold, Kalima, Dracana, and Are Yeah Righto. Yeah, Righto was a really good winner the other day. Lurched at the start, pushed up into the spot, 1-1, over raced a bit, then laid out up the straight and beat Dracana and Kalima. Kalima's best run is generally that first up run. She got a pretty good run through, so probably find it hard to see her turning the tables on him from a worse draw and losing that freshness. Does get Lucy Fiore though. Um, Dracana looks like he can posse up a bit closer. He's got a bit of gate speed, so from 9, I'm expecting him to come out of it and then just look to obviously take a trail somewhere. But I think he'll be sort of in your first 5 or 6. That will help him to try and turn the tables. I think he's probably more likely to turn the tables on Yeah Righto. And Woburn Gold is seemingly best fresh, and that recent trial was outstanding. Um, of the rest, I think your next best chance is Nobility, if she can get
Ooh.
across, like I said. Um,
Thoughts on keep attacking?
too many setbacks now, and
Yeah,
59.5 versus a couple of these sort of lower in the weights. Yeah.
yeah. With what,
Um,
months off? Ooh,
Royal Tornado
yeah,
trialled huge, gets Pike. He would have had a few options, and Dance Boss is a nice horse, but tried a little bit too poorly for mine.
yeah, yeah. Rule Tornado is an interesting one. Stay fresh.
I can't, not at 12 though. Just stick
Nah,
him first up 14.
yeah, yeah.
First
Yeah. I
up
think
14, I bet.
K Kalima. I think the stable is still back. They're still back. They're just having a tough run of just getting the right run in the race. Like Kalima only got out late last start. Was it a fortnight ago? Really attacked the line hard. Um,
I
I
just
just
think in
don't.
previous prep, she would have gone past Yeah Righto while he's doing things wrong and rolling up the track, considering she'd settled rails in run, which was the best part of the track.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
does have that short, sharp turn of speed. I thought
does.
she
Yeah,
would have beaten him with those things in mind.
yeah. And then you've touched on Woven Gold. Very smart mare on her day. Um, and Fresh definitely is best. Could it be second up though? I think
Yeah, but this time she's trialed
true.
where she doesn't often trial.
Mm,
So,
to it's I don't want to say field job, but
hmm.
like you look at the top four in the market, they're all drawn probably where they'd settle anyway. So it's not like,
Yeah, within reason.
yeah. What do you, I missed it at the start. Did you say it was going to be a strong pace shape or moderate?
Well, I think Nobility will have to burn enough to get there. Like they won't. I don't think it'll be outrageous, but I can't
Yeah,
see them going slow.
yeah.
Um, like Resonator's not just going to hand up if they're not going to come across with a bit of intent. Um,
And we
so
got Kersley Roulette on Kelvinator.
yeah, but I think they've learnt with him. The trick is just not to don't open him up to get on speed. You've just got to come out with him, and
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
let him do it his own way.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Quaddy, I'm thinking just those four. It's a bit. I'm happy to leave out Kalima. I'll include the other three favourites and
Oh,
Nobility. And if you would like Dance Boss, I'm happy to have Dance Boss, but I'm not fast.
I was happy to leave Dracana out of those first four.
Really,
Yeah. Like
do we just like?
she settled in front of Kalima.
Yeah, but didn't get heaps of room. Probably
Uh,
open to more improvement. Where I think Kalima goes a bit backwards, gets a map improvement.
she's she was rousing run as well. She got the
Yes,
saloon passage up the fence.
I think Kalima got a better run into it.
Happy to disagree there. Happy to disagree. Um, all right. two quaddies, one with Drakena and one without,
Shall we just include those four and nothing else? No, I'd like nobility in
and
five.
nobility. Yeah, yeah. I
8,
think
9,
we have to.
11, 15, 16.
Yeah, let's go. I tell you what, there's like, whilst we haven't done anything extravagant with the $5 fields,
Well, but it's
we gotta
like
get
when
something.
with everyone's secondary quaddy where Bustler's one out, that'll be a
Yeah,
fill up.
yeah, that's it. And he's firming up this morning. Love
As it
to see
should.
it, as he
Good
should.
boy.
All right, Toby, thank you very much. Your updated prices are already out.
Updated, no. And I will do my best to get that sorted right now.
Awesome. Fantastic. Mounting Yard Mail today. Be fantastic. Looking forward to your analysis on race 7 from the yard.
Yep.
Um,
I'm just looking forward to race 7 as a whole.
as- all right. Thank you very much, Toby. Good luck today,
Thank you,
and I'll
Kev.
speak to you shortly.
Yep.